Hi, my name is Brian Audia, and as an executive coach and organizational performance consultant that's been in business for more than a decade, I've been able to work with some of the greatest leaders all over America. But one of the greatest leadership lessons I've ever learned was from a school teacher named Laura Stuler. Now, Laura tragically passed away at age 47 from cancer and left behind two boys that were still in school and her husband, Wayne. But Laura had this philosophy of leadership, a philosophy of living life that she called choosing joy. And even though things were difficult for her with her sickness and other things going wrong at work, Laura chose joy every day. She created bands, she created t-shirts, she had social media posts where she could influence others to say that no matter what your circumstances are, you can choose joy.
My name is Diana, and Laura is my friend. We were part of this wonderful friend group that Laura nicknamed the Just Breathe Ladies because she knew we needed that reminder every day to just breathe. Laura lived her life with purpose and with fierce determination. And she decided years ago that she wasn't going to let other people or circumstances choose her attitude for her. She decided to choose her own attitude, and Laura chose joy. And we loved that about Laura. It's why we would go to her when we needed to tap into that joyful perspective and that fierce determination. It's why she would come to us sometimes. She'd see us getting squirreled by our circumstances or trying to manipulate an outcome, and she would look at us and she would smile her sweet smile and she would say, "Be still, just breathe, choose joy." It was such a lesson that impacted our lives. Even as her illness progressed and we saw things get harder for her, still peace and joy prevailed in her life. At a time when she could have completely been self-focused, and as her friends we would have had her back, she still put others first. She would, during her good weeks of chemo, she would take food to another family. She would write cards and letters to encourage people. She even anonymously sent gift cards to people because she knew they were down and they needed that little boost. See, when Laura chose joy for herself, the byproduct of that was she spread joy to everybody around her.
And that leads to a second word that I often think about, intentionality, when it comes to Laura, because Laura was intentional about infecting other people with her life and her philosophy. She wanted to raise the quality of life for everyone and show them that in choosing joy, that they could have a better quality of life.
It was really quite remarkable observing your mom and the impact that she had while she was going through the throes of all of it. And to get to watch it from my seat, having a relationship with you and Andrew, you really can tell when something powerful is about to happen, and really, I think when you see how someone deals with struggles and when they're looking death in the face. And it honestly, I think, took me by surprise. You know, I'm a pastor, and I was still kind of like, wow, this is real. This is resilient, this is genuine, this is something that is so countercultural and so not normal and not natural. And it really shocked everyone. And I think that's so remarkable. It took the truth of what we believe, of our faith, it took it from this construct and this idea to something in real life. I don't know that she could have possibly understood that kind of legacy she was paving that way in her wake. And it's an honor to even have a window seat into that, into her legacy and her life and her example. And it quite honestly got the attention of a lot of people. And I kind of hope that there are more that take her legacy and repeat it, you know, and I know you will, I know your family will, because it's real. It's like the moment when faith stops becoming faith is when it kind of is like, it's so real. It's like, why do I even need faith? You know, your mom, it was so real to her, and she helped us all see that it is real. It's more real. So she gave a legacy of faith, that it is possible to believe in something so strong that it makes everything else of this world seem to fade away. And if anything, it was evidence for me that there is a God.
And the last word is legacy. I went to Laura's funeral, and it was one of the greatest events I've ever been to. People came and spoke about knowing her as a daughter, as a wife, as a mom, as a friend, as a co-worker, and everybody talked about the legacy that she left behind. She impacted everyone's life, not only while she was living, but even now after she's gone.
Now our ladies have renamed our group. We are now the Choose Joy group, because that's what we need the daily reminder of. We need to carry on the legacy that Laura showed us, to choose joy every day. Psalm 16:11 says, God has revealed the path of life to me. In His presence is abundant joy. At His right hand are eternal pleasures. I know for sure that Laura is in the abundant joy of the Lord. I know she's enjoying His eternal pleasures. And as much as I miss her, I love knowing that's where she is. And one day, my friends and I, we're going to be with her. And we're going to be in the presence of the Lord, and we're going to enjoy that abundant joy together.
And that's the kind of life I want to live, is one that people look and they see it's almost not even faith anymore. It's so real. And I want people to look at my life from her legacy, learning from her legacy, as, wow, how could this be true? And they see that it is true. So, Laura Stuler's legacy is one that I think has echoed around the world. And it's an aspiration and a model of what it means to live a life of faith and to choose joy in the face of hardship. And my goodness, does the world not need that?
So, as I think about Laura's leadership philosophy, I think about choosing joy, I think about being intentional, and I think about leaving a legacy. Because the average person lives into their 70s. Laura lived 47 years on this earth, and she made a major impact because of that philosophy.